Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and this is the Locker Gnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of tech news, gadget views, and other stuff the world can use. For example, could you use this brand new iMac? I mean, this is the very new iMac that I have here. Hasn't even been unboxed yet. One of you is going to have the chance to get this so long as you retweet the tweet that I tweeted in conjunction with the video I just recorded here live on YouTube, which I hope you guys tuned in for or certainly watched it. Parallels is making it possible. We're going to be giving it away next Friday. So tweet the tweet that I told you to retweet, tweeter. Or maybe you'd rather build a supercomputer with Lego and Raspberry Pi. And by the way, the Raspberry Pi I'm talking about is not the kind that you can eat. Kinda like the possibility that Big Brother may be heading to your car. It seems that if federal regulators have their way, every car sold in the US may have a similar technology to a black box, that's in airplanes, sold in every car by 2014. Have you been looking for a thermal imaging accessory for your iPhone or your Android device? Wait no longer. Here's the accessory on Kickstarter that has already exceeded its goal, IR Blue. And again, it works with both iOS and Android. And if infrared isn't your thing, maybe you're looking for an emergency device charger. Okay. Don't you love technology that's device agnostic? The next time you need this, it'll be too late. You'll have needed it, and then you won't have it. It's always good to have battery backup, especially if you can't rely on power. No one answers my texts. What do I do? I'm not asking the question, but I'm going to do my best to answer it. We've written a guide for you in case you're someone who likes to ask questions online, or maybe when you text your friends, well, however you text your friends. Do they still call it texting these days? I don't know. It could very well be what you're asking, how you're asking, and maybe the person just doesn't like you, or maybe they're busy. Maybe it's the fact that you don't really know how to spell, or maybe the texting language you're using is incompatible with the language that the other person is speaking. You might like to text to communicate, but that doesn't mean that the person on the other end uses texts to communicate. We all have our favorite medium, and that's the thing you have to keep in mind when you're communicating. I mean, you're watching me share this information for you or to you on YouTube. You could have read about it, or you could have listened to it. You prefer to listen to it. Some other prefer to read it. You ultimately have to think about how the other person communicates when you intend on communicating with them, rather than your preferred method. And hopefully, they respect your preferred method, and you can find a happy medium. Will the buzzing drive Nexus 4 users nuts? My Nexus 4's nuts can drive. Oh, I'm just kidding. The Nexus 4 doesn't have nuts. But apparently, the device, when it vibrates, is driving some users nuts. Should you downgrade from Windows 8 to Windows 7? Some people would consider that an upgrade. Honestly, and I haven't changed my perspective on Windows 8 since using it in a variety of experiences, including with dedicated hardware designed with Windows 8 in mind, certainly a touchscreen device. If you are finding that you're not able to get as much work done as you could with Windows 7, why are you sticking with Windows 8? Because it's faster in some respects? Because you like live tiles? Really, the only reason you might want to use Windows 8 is if you have a touchscreen device. I just can't imagine many of you wanting to use Windows 8 if it doesn't have a touchscreen, or at least if you don't have apps that you want to run full screen all the time. No matter. That was the question asked by Matt Wilson, and I was more than happy to answer it. In fact, you're going to find that most of the content we're producing on LockerGnome.com moving into the future is going to be based on the questions that you are asking me. I'm going to answer them right here on LockerGnome.com. Connecticut town reported to collect and destroy violent games. What constitutes violence? Because I remember some games when I was growing up that were kind of violent. I mean, pixels slaughtering pixels. It's just outrageous. Really? Are we really doing this? Sprint to offer its own prepaid smartphone plan with unlimited data. All right, I've heard this unlimited thing before. Is it unlimited or really unlimited? YouTube makes your phone a remote control by pairing its mobile apps with TVs. I don't know about you, but I get more of my entertainment on YouTube than I ever do on the big box, and I use my mobile devices all the time. These are my primary entertainment screens. How are you watching me right now? On what screen? How? YouTube. In fact, I think it should be law that YouTube ships with every TV. Okay, maybe that's going a bit far, but it just seems that YouTube makes me happy enough. Facebook launches voice in iOS and Android Messenger apps. I'd rather listen to voicemails on Facebook than using the phone system. I mean, because have you ever tried to navigate voicemail on a phone? Even with fancy apps, it's just... Corning Gorilla Glass 3 to be 3 times more scratch resistant than previous generations. I'm down with that. I mean, glass inevitably will crack and shatter if dropped, but hey, stronger glass, better device. And before I forget, it looks like Google has updated its Android platform versions, and gingerbread finally falls under 50%. Ice cream sandwich is definitely gaining ground. Our question of the day is brought to you by GoDaddy.com, and if you want to save money on anything you buy on GoDaddy.com, just email me first. I'll send you my latest list of coupons. Chris@Pirillo.com. There's the question posted directly to LockerGnome.net. Are game consoles going to be passed by mobile phones? I say they've not only been passed, they've been lapped a few times. And that's not to say you get the same gaming experience on this screen as you might on a big screen, but the technology already exists to allow you to play games from this screen on that screen. And again, I'm pointing to the Google TV that you can't see just outside of this video frame. Yesterday, I talked about an Android controller that will do just that. Consoles, as they are today, are kind of dying. And that doesn't mean that console gaming is dead. It's just that what the console is has already evolved. You may agree with me, you may disagree, you may think I'm nuts, but either way, I'm very glad you liked this video enough to share it with your friends, and of course subscribe to our channel, because we are doing this for you every day. So we need you. Really, we need you, because you're an awesome person. For reals. We'll see you later.